Yeah, I mean, over the last 10 years, I've been lucky enough to work on some very high-profile projects, which has been fantastic. And probably the best-known films I've worked on, I did 2 of the Harry Potter films. I did the 5th film, The Order of the Phoenix, and the 6th film, The Half-Blood Prince. But what I'm really known for is my working relationship with the director Christopher Nolan. He makes some of the biggest, most expensive movies in the world these days. But that sensibility of keeping it tight and small and contained, with the way that you do when you're making an indie film, which is how I essentially started out, is quite personal. So you're very closely involved with him on the set. He wants you there on the set all the time, because there's an ongoing creative discussion which is continually developing as you're making the film. So we keep it lean and mean, and we move very, very fast. But he's incredibly focused, incredibly dedicated, and he keeps you on your toes. You can't sit back and relax. So Interstellar was no exception to the rule. I was flat out on that the whole time. It's not a case of, people often say to you that filmmaking is long periods of boredom punctuated by moments of terror, and that is often the case. But working with Chris, it's a continual roller coaster of do this, do that, try and get ahead, get on to the next thing, keep moving the whole time.
Yeah, fantastic.
I remember very clearly the first time I worked with a very high-level visual effects supervisor who was outside of our team here at Double Negative, and the first time I showed him one of my shots, he was extremely critical and he ripped it to bits, and I thought it was quite reasonable. And he tore it to bits, and now when I think about what he actually told me, I said, well, they're all obvious things. Are the shadows all pointing in the same direction? Are the exposure levels balanced? Is the reflection on an object, is it brighter than the light source that's casting it, or is it dimmer? Because you think they're just straightforward, obvious things. So a lot of it you can actually, it's just a checklist that you go through.
The most rewarding project for me was Hellboy 2, just because I absolutely love Guillermo del Toro's look and his visuals and his just crazy sense of humour. And it was the first project where I really felt like we were being thrown artistic challenges and having to just come up with ideas and rise to it, and that was encouraged, and it was fun and it was interactive. And he had such a big personality, and he would egg us on to take it further, and we would push back. And at the end of it, you look at it and you go, there's a huge amount of my artistic design and everyone in the room's artistic design all going into this film and all working together to make this completely crazy looking thing that looks like nothing else you do. And then, a lot of the films that we do have a certain sort of Hollywood style, and but that's just, from looking back at all the films I've worked on, that's one that looks like nothing else, and it was just really fun.
The one thing you can guarantee, especially in 3D, what you did last year, you will not be asked to do this year. It will always have developed and changed. The technology will change, the approach will have changed, the client's expectations will have changed, the movie's subject and style will be completely different. So you need to be able to cope with that change, and that for me is one of the most exciting things about it.